Three men saw the end of the world. Not in a movie, not in a dream. In visions so real, they shook empires and rewrote history. One of them never died. One of them outlived a kingdom. One of them wrote the final book of the Bible. There are many prophets in the Bible, but only 3 men were lifted beyond their own generation, shown the final days of human history, and sent back to write it down. 3 men, separated by thousands of years, who all saw the same terrifying ending and the same unstoppable hope. Enoch, Daniel, John. One walked so closely with God that he never died. One stood inside pagan empires and saw them crumble before they were born. One was exiled on a lonely island, and from there watched the world burn, kings fall, and a new creation rise. And here is the mystery. Their visions fit together, like 3 pieces of one prophetic puzzle. Tonight, we're going to follow their footsteps. We'll walk with Enoch through the chambers of heaven. We'll stand with Daniel as beasts rise from the sea. And we'll sit beside John on Patmos as the sky splits open. And when their stories are finished, you may find yourself asking a very unsettling question. Are we living in the days they saw? Stay with me. Ezekiel and Isaiah were shown the end as well. But while Enoch, Daniel, and John witnessed God's verdicts in heaven's throne room, Ezekiel and Isaiah saw the battlefield on earth where those judgments would unfold in war, desolation, and final restoration. The Bible introduces Enoch in a single haunting line. Enoch walked with God, then he was no more, because God took him. Genesis 5:24. No funeral, no grave, just gone. The ancient world remembered him as the man who stepped out of history and into eternity. But what happened when God took Enoch? Ancient Jewish writings, including what we now call the Book of Enoch, preserve a startling claim. Enoch wasn't just removed from earth. He was taken on a tour of the end. He says he was lifted up among the angels, shown the ends of the earth, the storehouses of the winds, the paths of the stars. But then his vision shifts from creation to judgment. Enoch describes a future day when the earth itself would tremble under the weight of wickedness, when the watchers, rebellious heavenly beings, would be judged, when violence and corruption would reach a breaking point. He writes of a coming great judgment where books are opened, secrets are exposed, and every hidden deed is brought into the light. He sees something like this: a great throne of glory, and around it rivers of fire, and before it stand multitudes, some shining like light, others facing a terror they cannot escape. Sound familiar? Centuries later, another prophet will see a throne, a court seated, and books opened. And even later, another will see the dead stand before a great white throne, with books opened, and another book, the Book of Life. Enoch is the first piece. He sees a world that will not end in chaos, but in a courtroom. A flood would come in his generation, yes. But Enoch looks beyond water to a final fire. In his visions, the world is not erased, but purified. The wicked are swept away, and a renewed earth under a righteous king emerges. But Enoch's writings were only the beginning. His scroll would whisper through the centuries until another young man, carried away to Babylon, would see the same judge and the same end. The year is around 605 BC. Jerusalem has fallen. A teenager named Daniel is torn from his home and marched into the glittering heart of Babylon. From the outside, his world has ended, but God is about to show him the end of every world. In Daniel chapter 7, in the quiet of the night, Daniel dreams. He sees a stormy sea, and from it, 4 beasts rise. A lion with wings, a lopsided bear, a 4-headed leopard, and a monstrous, iron-toothed beast unlike anything on earth. These are not random monsters, they are empires. Babylon, Medo-Persia, Greece, Rome, kingdoms that, in Daniel's day, had not yet risen, and yet he sees their rise and fall. And then, suddenly, the camera of his vision jerks upward. I watched till thrones were put in place, and the Ancient of Days was seated. His clothing is white as snow, his hair is like pure wool, his throne a fiery flame, its wheels burning fire. Thousands upon thousands served him. 10,000 times 10,000 stood before him. The court was seated, and the books were opened. Enoch saw a throne and books. Daniel sees the same courtroom, but clearer. The last beast is judged. The arrogance of the final world power is broken. And then something, or rather someone, enters the scene. Daniel continues, I was watching in the night visions, and behold, one like the Son of Man, coming with the clouds of heaven. He came to the Ancient of Days, and they brought him near before him. Then to him was given dominion and glory and a kingdom. Enoch saw judgment. Daniel sees the judge. Not just a nameless force, but one like a son of man, human yet coming on the clouds of heaven, a description used of God himself. This Son of Man receives a kingdom that will never pass away. Daniel, still in exile, still under pagan rule, now knows this: every empire is temporary, every throne is rented, but this king and this kingdom are permanent. Daniel's later visions sharpen the picture, a final time of distress such as never has been since there was a nation, a resurrection where many who sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake, some to everlasting life, and some to shame and everlasting contempt. Again, the same pattern, a world system collapsing, a final judgment, a division of destinies, a kingdom that cannot be shaken. Enoch, Daniel, 2 witnesses across time. But centuries later, on a lonely Roman prison island, an old man would see all of this converge into one last blazing revelation. The Roman Empire thinks it has silenced John, the last living apostle. The man who once leaned on Christ's chest now lives in exile on a rocky island called Patmos. But heaven is not finished speaking. John writes, I was in the Spirit on the Lord's day, and I heard behind me a loud voice, as of a trumpet. He turns and sees him, eyes like a flame of fire, feet like burnished bronze, a voice like the sound of many waters. The Son of Man, the same figure Daniel saw, stands before John, not in humiliation now, but in unveiled glory. From here, John is pulled into a series of visions that will become the Book of Revelation, the most detailed picture of the end of the world in all of Scripture. He sees a throne in heaven, surrounded by a rainbow like an emerald. Lightning flashes, thunder rolls. 24 elders fall on their faces. Angels cry, Holy, holy, holy. In the hand of the one on the throne, a sealed scroll, the title deed of the earth, the plan for judgment and restoration. No one is worthy to open it until the Lamb appears, slain yet standing. The Lamb breaks the seals, and judgment begins. John sees war, famine, pestilence, the martyrs crying out for justice. The sun darkened, the moon turned to blood, the stars falling from the sky. He sees beasts rising, like Daniel's vision reborn. A global system of control, a leader who exalts himself above God. A mark that determines who can buy or sell. Enoch saw a corrupted world nearing judgment. Daniel saw blasphemous empires and a final, arrogant ruler. John watches that same final system in cinematic detail. But just when the darkness seems absolute, the sky opens. I saw heaven opened, and behold, a white horse. He who sat on him was called Faithful and True, and in righteousness he judges and makes war. The armies of heaven follow him. On his robe and on his thigh a name is written, King of Kings and Lord of Lords. The beast is captured. The false prophet is silenced. The armies of the earth cannot stand before him. John then sees what Enoch and Daniel only glimpsed. I saw a great white throne and him who sat on it. And I saw the dead, small and great, standing before God, and books were opened. And another book was opened, which is the book of life, and the dead were judged according to their works. Enoch's courthouse, Daniel's courtroom. John is standing inside it. And then, a new heaven, a new earth. The old order passes away. No more death, no more sorrow, no more night. The new Jerusalem descends like a bride. God himself dwells with his people. The world, as we know it, ends. But the story of God with his people has only just begun. Step back and look at the pattern. Enoch, the man who never died, sees a future judgment, a world cleansed, and a righteous king. Daniel, the exile, sees empires rise and fall, the Ancient of Days, the Son of Man, judgment, and everlasting destinies. John, the apostle, sees the seals, the trumpets, the bowls, the beasts, the throne, the books, the Lamb, the final fire, and a new creation. 3 men, different centuries, different languages, same ending. A world racing toward a final crisis. A God who will not ignore evil forever. A judgment where nothing is hidden. A king who receives an everlasting kingdom. And a renewed world where righteousness finally feels normal. You can call it myth. You can call it coincidence. But if Enoch, Daniel, and John truly saw what they claimed, then every person watching this right now is somewhere on that timeline. You and I are living between their vision and its fulfillment. Are we in the days they saw? Jesus himself warned of wars and rumors of wars, nations rising against nations, lawlessness increasing, love growing cold. Paul spoke of a generation that would be obsessed with self, pleasure, and rebellion against God. John saw a global system of control and deception. When you look around at technology, surveillance, global crises, moral confusion, it's hard not to feel like the stage is being built. But here's the truth threaded through all 3 men. The point of prophecy is not to feed our curiosity. It's to fuel our preparation. Enoch walked with God. Daniel remained faithful in a hostile empire. John held fast to his testimony, even when it cost him everything. They didn't just see the end, they lived in light of it. One day, the visions of Enoch, Daniel, and John will not be prophecy anymore. They will be history. The court will sit. The books will open. the King will return. The question is not just, when will this happen? The deeper question is, when it does, where will you stand? With the kingdoms that are passing away, or with the King whose kingdom never ends? If this journey through the visions of these three men stirred something in you, don't walk away and forget it. Search the scriptures for yourself. Read Daniel. Read Revelation. Ask why these three men across ages saw the same end and the same king. And remember, the end of the world is not the end of the story. For those who belong to Him, it's the beginning of everything they were created for. Thank you for walking through these mysteries with me. There are many more hidden patterns, symbols, and prophecies tied to Enoch, Daniel, and John that we haven't even touched yet. Until next time, keep searching the mysteries of Scripture. Some of them were written for you to discover now.